All right, so let's take a look at Amanda Bobby Cooper versus Mackenzie Dern on the UFC 224 card. In many people's eyes, I know this is supposed to be another fighter. They're trying to feed to Dern to get more of a push, but for Cooper, I feel like this is her chance to break that chain and stay on the winning track since her last fight. Amanda, I first saw her on The Ultimate Fighter, and I was impressed with her striking game. You know, I can tell she's a student of boxing, and that's her main strength. But I've also saw that, you know, her ground game has some holes in it, and I feel like it's still not the best. And, you know, she's definitely had trouble with, you know, physically bigger, stronger girls like Tatiana Suarez and even, you know, Cynthia Cavillo. I feel like, you know, once a girl kind of try to outmuscle and just try to, you know, outstrength her, you know, that's kind of been her weakness. But I see she's kind of been working on her takedown defense a little bit more. And as we know, Mackenzie Dern, she comes from the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background, and, you know, that's her specialty. And of course, she's undefeated, so, you know, those are some more advantages for her. Though I actually had her losing her last fight against Ashley Yoder. You know, like I said, her first 5 fights, you know, they were clear wins for her. But this last fight, this was the one that kind of, in my eyes, it was her first loss. You know, that was kind of her first loss where it showed her weakness. I felt that Ashley Yoder put hands on Dern, and at times, you know, she did put a striking clinic on her. You know, she won 2 close rounds. And but of course, I feel like if Dern was to impress just with a few takedowns and had some little bit of effort, you know, she was going to get the nod. So, you know, she has more push behind her. And going into this fight, I feel like Cooper, you know, she's going to have to do what Yoder did ×5. You know, she can't land just a little bit. She's going to have to make a big impression. And I mean that by doing that, she's going to have to knock Dern out, or if she can't knock her out, just completely outstrike her, you know, tattoo her, you know, mark her up, and just make her look overall green. You know, she's just gonna have to make it a standing fight where she can just, you know, make her look bad that way. But with someone like Dern, who has a machine behind her, you can't let her appeal to the judges at all. You have to take the fight into your hands, and I feel like Amanda has to make this a standing fight all 3 rounds using her boxing IQ. Don't make any takedown attempts, and make sure her takedown defense is polished. Because for somebody like Mackenzie Dern, for me, it's really hard to tell where she stands as far as how dedicated she is to being an MMA fighter. Like I said, I know she's really good at, you know, I know that her specialty is you know, BJJ, but you know she's excellent at that. But as far as like her crafting herself as an MMA fighter, you know, like I said, her striking, it really needs improvement, and it's kind of hard to tell where she is with her kicks and her wrestling. Especially when you compare her to a lot of the other girls in the UFC, especially the ones that she's going to be facing. You know, every time you put her in there with somebody with a little bit more and more skill, she's going to kind of get more and more exposed unless she learns more and more as she goes on. And I feel like for Dern, she's going to have to avoid making this a striking match at all, you know, especially with the way she's looked in her past fights. She's just going to have to do her bread and butter. You know, she's going to have to take somebody like Amanda Cooper to the ground, because if she don't, Amanda, you know, she's going to have a field day with her hands. So Dern, you know, she's just going to have to use takedowns, and if she gets it to the ground, you know, use ground and pound and just keep the majority of the fight on the mat. You know, she's going to have to keep the majority of the minutes on the mat. Actually playing out, though, I think Cooper will keep the fighter on her feet for as long as she can. And, you know, I feel like she is going to land the significant punches in this fight. But Dern could start strong and try to keep that pressure on Cooper and just try to make it a sloppy, ugly fight, and just, you know, try to outmuscle her, you know, use her physical strength, you know, use her size over Cooper. And I think that's where she might capitalize, you know, on the first 2 rounds. If Cooper can't keep it if Cooper can't keep it on her feet. But if Amanda keeps it on her feet, you know, is able to outbox her, she's gonna have to do that for 3 rounds. You know, she's just gonna have to use angles and use something that Dern don't have, which is the footwork, and of course, you know, the better technique with punches. So if she's able to do that, I could see, you know, I could see Cooper pulling out the win, you know, convincingly. Overall, though, let's see. Last time I did pick Ashley Yoder to win, but for this one, I'm gonna have to say it's 50-50, just because that machine behind Dern. You know, I don't know how they're gonna do it. I feel like Cooper is the better striker, but also she does have 3 losses, and they did come by submission. So, you know, it's gonna all come down to how she reacts on the ground. You know, that's still up in the air. And I feel like somebody like Dern, though she is green and experienced in some things, you know, she is undefeated. And, you know, depending on how a fighter cherishes their O and how, you know, how they really, you know, do they really care about staying undefeated? you know, that's going to tell you how she's going to find a way to win. You know, even if a fighter is undefeated and they're inexperienced, sometimes it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Sometimes they have that mind frame where I can't lose. You know, they're going to try to find a way to win, whether it's ugly or sloppy, or, you know, whether the crowd likes it or not. You know, if it becomes a boring fight, they don't care. You know, undefeated fighter doesn't care. You know, they're going to try to win the best way they know how, because that's all they know. That's all they know. They don't know how to lose. But somebody like Amanda Bobby Cooper, you know, she's already lost in the past, so we're going to see if she's the type of fighter that reacts to losing as far as like, I don't want to lose anymore, and they learn from their losses, so they have it in their mind frame where it's like, I can't lose either, you know. So we're going to see how they both react to this. You know, we're going to see how Dern cherishes her O or not, you know. So it's going to really come down who can establish their game first. You know, if Cooper keeps it striking, it's her fight. If Dern takes her down to the ground, it's going to be Dern's fight. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Think Cooper's going to pull this out or Dern? I think it's going to be a good fight. You know, I think this is going to be another learning experience for Dern. But like I said, it's a 50-50 one. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Make sure y'all subscribe. Combo Breaker 99. And I'm out. Peace.